Hello, my name is Joe Hardesty, and I am the Library Director for the National Society for the Sons of the American Revolution here in Louisville, Kentucky. Obviously, I am at home, and that's where I'm filming today. I've been home for the last 2 weeks, as millions of viewers have been as well during this coronavirus outbreak. I hope you're staying safe and that you're taking all the precautions you need to keep that virus at bay. You know, as a reference librarian, I've come across lots of questions over my 25 years of doing research and helping folks just like you. And so I thought I would go into my files and pull out some questions that have been sent to me over the years and share them with you. Some of these questions will be relevant and perhaps helpful to you. So, Marcus from Altoona, I think that's in Pennsylvania, he writes, "Hey Genealogy Joe, I heard you speak at a conference last year in Maryland, and you were great." Now, those were his words. My email address is marcus at ... I won't tell you what his email address is, but he asks, "Can you send me everything you have in your collection on my patriot ancestor, Hezekiah Bowen of Essex County, Virginia?" Really? Everything in my collection on Hezekiah Bowen of Essex County, Virginia? Marcus, the answer to that question is no. I can't send you everything I have in my collection because I don't know how much there is in my collection on your patriot ancestor. Questions that are asked like that are just way too broad. So I don't have no idea when he was born or where he died. I don't know anything more about him than that. So in order to answer a question as broad as that, we reference librarians need much more specific questions to be asked. Now, since you mentioned that he was from Essex County, Virginia, I might recommend that you go to sources like FamilySearch.org and visit their catalog for materials on that location and see what's available online through FamilySearch.org about Essex County, Virginia. And there probably will be records pertaining to Revolutionary War service there. So that's what I would recommend. We have time for one more question, I think. And so, here's one. Frederica from Kansas City, Kansas. She writes, "Hi Joe, why is my state archive closed on the weekend, but my public library is open? Also, the local historical society where my mom lives is open to the public, but they charge a fee to get in. I'm really confused. Can you explain the differences?" Well, yes, Frederica, what you're describing here is the differences between a public library and a special collection and a state archive. And let me explain those three differences. There's some similarities and some major differences, so I can understand why there's confusion. In a public library, its main function is to promote literacy in the community where it's located. So in a public library, you'll find a children's department, and you'll find lots of books of fiction and lots of nonfiction books. So books about astronomy and geography and mathematics. And in most public libraries, you'll find a smaller collection of genealogy resources and local history. Some small county libraries have very small collections, whereas Louisville Free Public, where I used to work for 22 years, had the largest collection in Kentucky of local history and genealogy resources. And the other advantage of a public library is that it's free to anyone who walks in the door, and many public libraries are opened on Saturdays and possibly Sunday and later hours in the evening. So their hours are going to be a lot more easy to access. Now, special collections like the Sons of the American Revolution, the Daughters of the American Revolution, and historical societies, whether they're county level historical societies or statewide historical societies, those special collections have a special purpose, and more often than not it's going to be just local history and as well as genealogy. And a large collection like ours, the SAR, our scope is going to be nationwide. And so the funding stream is different as well with a special collection. Many special collections are funded by dues of its members and perhaps through grant funding as opposed to government taxation. So that being said, they may have to charge a nominal fee to access the collection of a historical society. Don't be surprised about that. And then the third type is, again, special, state archives. State and the National Archive based in Washington, D.C., and their purpose is completely different. A state archive's primary purpose is to collect and preserve and maintain the historical record of the agencies of that state. So you'll find county road documents and contracts. You'll find the finance department's records going back for decades, and automobile registrations that were filed on a county level eventually get archived at the state level. So their primary customer is state agencies. Now they'll often have, state archives will often have a public service desk where folks like you or I can visit and do genealogy research of their documents in their collection. But remember that their hours are probably going to be shorter, much shorter. Almost none of them will be open after 5 o'clock, and I don't know if they're ever open on the weekends. So the best thing that I would recommend that you do, Frederica, is that if you have questions about a certain repository or archive or library, is to visit their website. It's not hard to do. Just simply go on google.com and type in the title and find their website and to learn what their hours of operation, if there's a fee to get in, what are the charges, if there's any, for making of copies, or perhaps you could even write to them with a question or two. So anyway, that's all I was going to say. I want to thank you for tuning in, and I hope you are staying safe, stay COVID-free, and God bless.